Are you wondering how to get started on the Atkins diet? Well, I'm going to share with you today how to get started. Hi, my name is Lori and this is Lori's Journey. I make videos about my journey doing the Atkins diet, and I share with you all the tips that I've discovered along the way. So today I thought I would help you guys that have been commenting that are really wanting to get started on Atkins. I'm going to give you a couple little resources that I could think of and how I got started. So first of all, a long time ago, I would say probably mid-2000s, the Atkins diet was really becoming popular at the time. Dr. Atkins himself had written a book, and actually a second one that he had written just came out. I'm not sure about the year, but I'm just kind of guessing here. And I will link those down below for you in case you're interested. So I read both of those books. I read his original book and his second one that had just come out. And I decided I was going to do the Atkins diet. Well, it didn't go very well for me at the time. I wasn't the person I am today. I just got a lot of rude comments from coworkers, and it was really hard while I was working at a fast food restaurant. So I did really well. I did lose some weight. And I tried to say, hey, look, I'm losing weight. Oh, well, that's not healthy, they'd tell me. Well, many years later, obviously I went off of it. Many years later, I'm hearing all this stuff about keto this and keto that, and I looked into keto. One thing that I was just feeling uncomfortable with was the fact that a lot of people say you need to use the test strips and everything and make sure you're in ketosis. Well, I don't want to have to monitor whether I'm in ketosis or not. I don't want to have to worry because I ate too many berries that day and I'm not in ketosis anymore. Well, then someone else, a YouTuber, Mommy Finding Fit, she actually did a video about her experience with the Atkins diet, and it got me thinking after she had mentioned it. So I looked into it again, and there's another book, Atkins Eat Right, Not Less. So I bought this book. It was basically a refresher course for me because I was looking all over YouTube and I couldn't find anything about Atkins. I was finding keto videos, but I couldn't find anything about Atkins. And I did Google searches and I just wasn't finding much. But I know I see the commercials on TV with Rob Lowe, I think it is. I know they're still in existence. So I found this book on Amazon, and so I went and bought it, got the refresher course to the whole diet plan. Well, I'm glad I did that. I see now that they have changed a few things. I liked the original plan a little bit better. Now they've changed it now to where it's an Atkins 20, Atkins 50, I believe, and Atkins 100. So the number is how many carbs you have per day. And they still have the phases through it all. The original plan was just the 4 phases. Phase 1 is your induction phase, where you have 20 grams or less of net carbs per day. The second phase, I believe, is about 30 grams of carbs. I might be wrong on that. It might be 40, somewhere in there. And that's where you're still losing weight, but just not as quickly. You can stay on the phase 1 longer, but they do want you to at least do that for 2 weeks if your goal is to lose weight, if you have a lot of weight to lose. And then you go to phase 2. And then after you've been losing weight for a while and you're pretty close to your goal, that's when they want you to go to phase 3. And then phase 4 is basically ongoing life eating plan, where you can have some of those carbs that you haven't had before and you just don't want to have them all the time. Like, you wouldn't want to go back to eating potato chips every day. You want to find where you can eat a bag of chips maybe once a week or two, but you wouldn't want to have them all the time. So anyway, I'm sticking with phase 1 for a while until I lose quite a bit. At least that's my plan. This book was really helpful. First of all, the book has recipes in it, and I'm planning on trying some of them. I got it in my meal plan for the next month. Another thing is, it's just got the way that the person that wrote this book is actually a dietitian that works for the Atkins company. The way she tells it, it's really interesting. I didn't feel like I was reading just some diet book with all this nutritional information. She explains how the body works, how the body reacts to different things, and how this Atkins plan helps you to lose your weight. And it's more about, your blood sugar that gets spiked and different things like that. And that's why when we reduce the carbs, we're not having those blood sugar spikes. And then when the body runs out of carbs to feed on, lack of a better word, then it starts eating the fat. And that's what you want the body to do. You want to have some healthy fats in your diet because you want the body to be eating the fat from your body. Now, I hear a lot of people on keto saying that they want to eat more fats, but my thinking is, whether you're on keto, whether you're on Atkins, no matter what diet you're doing, if you're eating fats, then if you want your body to eat fats, you're not going to want to have a whole lot of them. But at the same time, I'm not going to limit them. So I'm going to put butter in the pan before I start cooking some chicken. And that is a healthy fat, the butter is. And I'm not going crazy and putting a whole stick of butter in the pan, but I put a couple of tablespoons in there just to cook with my chicken, and that's basically all it is. You don't have to go out of your way to find fats. You want to make sure you're having real butter, not margarine. Real butter is the healthy stuff. Back in the 80s, they were really against some of these things because people were starting to gain weight. Well, it wasn't the fat that was making us get fatter. It was all these extra carbs. The low-fat stuff has a lot of bad stuff in it. All right, so now that I've got on that soapbox, if you don't want to read this book, that's fine, but I really highly suggest it so you can get a really good knowledge of this plan. And the next thing, I kind of shared this in my last video, but really important to know is how to count your net carbs. So you look at any label and where you see the ingredients and all the nutrition, you look at your total carbohydrates. So if you have an item that has, say, 8 grams of carbohydrates, you subtract the fiber. Let's say it has 2 grams of fiber. And then you're left with 6 net carbs. That's what you count. And then if it has sugar alcohols, I haven't seen that very often, but if it does, you can subtract that as well. Some people do, some people don't. It doesn't really matter. It's just whatever your preference is. But then remember also to count how many servings you had. So if it's something that has a 2 tablespoon serving, and if you had 4 tablespoons, make sure you're counting 2 servings. So instead of 6 net carbs, you're eating 12 net carbs. So just keep that in mind. Another thing that I've been trying to do is, I kind of have a funny thought on this, but a lot of people say to use fake sugar. I'm kind of uncomfortable with fake sugar because, first of all, it's not real. I'm trying to go to real food. I don't think 100 years ago that they were using fake food. So I kind of on the fence on that one. And another issue I've had is I must be allergic to erythritol, because I tried Swerve and it made me sick. And then I tried monk fruit, which was also made with erythritol, and I kind of had some borderline issues with that one as well. So what I went and did is I bought some coconut sugar. Coconut sugar has a low glycemic index, which means it's not going to spike your blood sugar as much as cane sugar, regular sugar, will. So I'm going to try that next time I have a recipe with sugar in it. That's all I can really think of for today on tips to get started. If you have any more specific questions than that, please let me know in the comments. I will do my best to answer you. I will make another video if necessary. And if you have any tips, go ahead and leave them in the comments as well. We are coming to the first of the year, so if there's anything that I can help you with your New Year's goals, I will do my best. Just remember, I'm not a medical professional. I'm not a doctor. So I'm going to do my best to help you, but essentially you should be asking a medical professional. Very soon I'll be sharing some of my favorite snacks and products on the Atkins Diet. So if you are curious about that, make sure you are subscribed and hit that bell icon so you get notified each time I make a new video. Until next time, join the journey.